Yeah, it was. I thought it was a good game of footy. Yeah, end to end. There was plenty of excitement, plenty of line breaks. Yeah, probably when we look at it and dissect it a little bit, we threw an intercept and Izzy lost the ball one-on-one strip. Both of those are sort of 6 point sort of situations. So 12 points in the scheme of the game was significant. But yeah, I was really happy with our girls. I mean, obviously we disappointed ourselves in the last couple of weeks, and to come out and at least really compete hard like that. I think we're a little bit unlucky in a few areas. Like we didn't get anything in the penalties. The penalties finished 1-7. And you never get a penalty count at this level 1-7. And I don't know if they are 7 times better than us, but I'd like the referee and his committee to have a look at that, because that's a tough obstacle in these sort of conditions, hot conditions out there. Possession was a massive part of the game, and to get penalised 1-7 is a big deficit to try and overcome. I thought our goal line D was really good. You know, we defended our goal line in the second half plenty of times on multiple occasions, and you know, there was Talisha Harden probably gets a rap from me in that, because she was outstanding in that particular area of the game. And yeah, we made a few changes, and all those girls had a bit of a crack and showed that they're capable at this level, which is nice. Yeah, she's got a knock on her knee. Look, the doc doesn't seem to think it's too bad, but obviously she'll get some scans and see how she pulls up and see what transpires over the next 48 hours. But we're hopeful that it's not too bad there.
She had a bit of strapping going into the game. Is it the same leg?
Yeah, she got a little cork above the knee, so it wasn't massive. It wasn't a massive issue, but she got another decent knock on it, and obviously, you know, the doc didn't think she was fit enough to continue after half time. So we had a lot of changes, and we had to sort of do a bit of juggling because of the injuries. You know, we lost one of our front rowers early with a medial injury as well, and another front row with an ankle injury. So I looked down there at one stage, and we had Nita Maynard as a hooker on the bench, and you know, wasn't giving us a heap of flexibility. So in the context, really proud of those girls. From a spectacle, I thought it really showcased Women's Rugby League. You know, good open day, dry day. They showed some real skill and scored some really spectacular tries, both teams. You know, it just goes to show where the women's game has evolved in the last sort of 3 years. You know, it's come a real long way. There's some real athletes and skillful athletes playing our game on both sides of the field there today. And yeah, I think it was a good example of what all the good stuff that the WNRL can provide.
Nice moment for Rue as well to get over the line.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, look, she was a determined lady, and obviously she was finishing up today, and she was determined to play well, and I thought it was her best game for us today. Her intent and the way she carried and tackled was terrific, and to score a try, that was nice. And good reception at the end. I think it just shows of what sort of standing she's held in the game, both on and off the field, and what she does with Channel 9, and obviously what she's done for the women's game and the legacy she's going to leave going forward for all these girls who are sort of start possibly to head towards a professional era. And she's carried the banner for a long time and worked pretty hard and advocated really hard for the conditions and, you know, some interest in the women's game. And it's great to see that NRL and everyone's getting on board.
Rick, you've been around the women's game now for, say, the past 8 months, 9 months. What do you think should happen next?
Yeah, good question. I think a lot of people have mentioned this weekend maybe the competition needs to be a bit longer. You know, no doubt it'll expand in time. You know, I think that's a given, and that's a formality. When they do that, I suppose they need to be careful about the quality of the games. And, you know, if they get a game like that every week, I think people would be interested to watch it, and you'll attract more and more fans to a standalone game. I was talking to an old friend of mine who played here, Mark Kokas. He's from the Gold Coast, and he said, I was absolutely smugagaps by the quality of the game and the skill and the athleticism of the girls. And you know, that was a good example of what some good stuff in our game can be for the women's game. But maybe 2 rounds. They talked about 2 rounds. That'd be nice. You know, 6 games, and you know, just to make your competition feel like there's enough meat in it to deserve to have 1v2 play in the grand final. Not that I would take anything away from the Broncos or the Dragons. You know, they've shown in their 3 weeks that they've probably been the best two sides. So good luck to them, and you know, it should be a good contest.
Having played both the Dragons and Broncos, which team do you think has the edge next week?
Yeah, no, it's hard for us because we played Broncos in real tough, slippery conditions last week, and we played, nice sunny day here today. Both got plenty of strike. Broncos probably a little bit more powerful in the forwards and a bit more fearsome. Maybe the Dragons were a little bit more strike out wide. So, I think the girls are. I know our girls are. They're learning that the little breaks in the play and how difficult it is to win NRL games and how well you have to play each week. And we're seeing that in this women's competition. Broncos getting rolled by the Warriors last night, and us tonight, there was 5 to 10, 15% just off in managing the game and keeping the pressure on the opposition when it's appropriate. So, you find in the NRL game, if they don't manage that well in the men's game, that they get beat. And the girls are finding out that they've possibly been in the past in a position where they can come up with those errors but still be good enough to win games. But the difference is starting to obviously draw very close in this competition. And the difference between winning and losing is about how well you play. And you've got to play well on the day to win. And that's a great product. Thank you.